about in January of 2011. I was doing an interview with Del McCoury, the man, and through the course of our conversation, he kind of talked all about his time in Baltimore. And I was vaguely aware of, this history in Baltimore. But as he kept talking about it, it really started resonating with me. And he said something. He said, there was Nashville and there was Baltimore. And I thought, wait a minute, there's a story here. So I just started researching casually and looking things up. And I kept telling my wife these stories and these things, and we drive by somewhere, and I'd say, I think that's where this place was. And she finally made the really accurate observation. That'd be a good book. And I thought, that's really good. You're right. It would. And then about 3 seconds later, I said, I want to have a book release show. I want to have a book release show at the Creative Alliance, and I want to have Caleb Stein, Bluestone, Chris Jacobs, and Patrick McAvinue play. And she said, that sounds awesome as well, but how about we write the book? So I tell you this story for this, because just as it was a goal for me to get this printed, it was a goal to have you guys here. And just a few minutes when the music starts, it's going to be as exciting as a moment for me as it was a few weeks ago when I got this copy in my hands. And I hope it's as exciting for you guys as when you got this copy in your hands. For those of you who don't have a copy in your hands, there's a big table in the lobby, stacks of books. My lovely wife is sitting there. We'll be selling them then. Hint, hint. Now, again, before we go on, I want to say one other thing. Music is alive. It's not meant to be sat down to. It's meant to be stood up and hoot and hollered and yelling and dancing and having a great time. Music connects us. It reminds us of the good times, and it helps us get through the bad times. All right, so if tonight you feel you need to get up and hoot and holler or dance or do something, do it. I guarantee you, my buddy in the red shirt right there, after his second or ninth beer, he's going to get up and be a dancing fool guy. So let's all be dancing fool guys tonight and get up and dance and have a great time. Yeah, right? Make some noise. Hell yeah. Now, as I thought, how do I want to introduce these amazing bands? These bands are some of my favorite bands. I am so lucky to be able to introduce these bands on stage. These aren't bands that I was just like, hey, let's get them to play. These are my favorite bands. I love these bands. And I thought, how do I introduce them to these people out here? And I thought, well, I have this book, and it has all these words and sentences in here. And I thought, they are such an important part of this story, I'm going to let these words introduce them on stage. The sounds of fiddle and guitar mingle with the quiet calm of an unseasonably cool mid-August day that would normally be filled with unrelenting heat and stifling humidity, but today is filled with the sweet sounds of an afternoon picking session. The sounds are interrupted by the occasional rumble of a car going past the wide-open front door, which allows the cool breeze to filter in and cool down the hot picking between the two musicians taking place in the back of the store. The name of the store is Childs. It's located in Childs, Maryland, 50 miles north of Baltimore. With its rustic exterior and old-timey furniture on sale, the inside looks as if it has been untouched by the hands of time. The two musicians are seated across from each other. The older man with the gray handlebar mustache is seated on a large, well-worn couch and picking away at his guitar he had proudly showed earlier with Hazel Dickens' autograph on it. The tall, lanky, bearded younger man across from him has been alternating between guitar and fiddle. The pair have been trading off the songs, each playing a couple of tunes they have recently written, as well as honoring their quest for some personal favorites from their music-playing buddy. They are both powerful singers who write rich, dynamic songs of simple pleasures, like Mom's Homemade Bread and Vienna Sausages. The songs spring to life as they roll out the tongues of the two musicians in this quaint, personal setting. For those who want to follow along, we are on page 132. For those who don't have a copy, table, books, my wife. The younger man is Caleb Stein, a transplanted musician from Colorado who has spent the past decade living in Baltimore. Stein is the soul of the current Baltimore music scene. He finds himself equally comfortable and accepted in any realm he chooses to play. He glides easily from shows at the Hipster Haven Auto Bar with indie bands and alt-rockers to his powerful and compelling album he recorded with Baltimore rapper Salim, to regular shows at rundown honky-tonk joints like 1999 Fleet Street, where his sets reflect the past tradition of bluegrass and hillbilly music so common in similar Baltimore bars years before. His music falls somewhere between the renegade cowboy poetry of Townes Van Zandt and the sweet rough and tumble sound of Neil Young's Harvest. The power in his music comes not from overwhelming volume or violent guitars, but from simple strums and carefully measured words that together carry an army of unmatched strength. Stein is deeply woven into the fabric of the city and has released 6 albums that reflect the vibrant, troubled passion that is Baltimore. He embodies what music is all about. He is the real deal as an honest, pure songwriting musician. He doesn't do it for anything but the artistry and then the expression. Ladies and gentlemen, will you please welcome Caleb Stein.